everybody, and welcome to another edition of Poland Daily Travel. This time we are still in the village, or the small town, I suppose, of Namysłów. And as I alluded to in the previous program, something that's very important here is beer. Now, how did it get to be important, and why is it important other than the fact that we like to drink beer sometimes? Some of us more than others. You can see here, they've created this mural with the king and the local duke. Looks like a king, doesn't it? With some soldiers behind him, and they're coming on down the wall. Here's a fellow with a staff. Looks like he's ready to go herd some sheep, probably right through the town into the market square to sell them on Saturday. And here we have a barmaid and a fella. A fellow with a beer stein, a beer mug, right? So beer is important enough, and let's just say it's synonymous with Namysłów, the beer of the same name. It's important enough that they did a whole mural in the town. It's one of the most decorative places in the town, right across from the old brewery. Now, it's a 700-year-old brewery. What does that mean? Well, the town itself was founded in the 1200s as a town. The settlement could have been here for eons, especially next to a river, which may have provided a good way to cross the river, the Vidava River here. It also would have been a good place with a plentiful water to supply a growing population, both in agriculture and citizens of the town. That's something to think about. But beer is not easy to get a license for. To get a license for beer, because it was taxed, just as it is today, you had to be on good terms with the local duke, who might have to be on good terms with the king as well. Beer was an important thing. You have to remember that in these days, that is medieval days, even late medieval days, people often drank beer instead of water. They used the water to grow things, used the water to wash, but they didn't necessarily drink the water because it might not be clean unless you had a well. And not the water out of the river, you had to be careful. Animals going in, all kinds of problems. But beer, even if it was especially if it was a low percentage of alcohol, was a very good staple drink.
On a mission.
Beer was a very good staple drink. I don't know if we should leave that in to show me laughing. Probably we should. You never know what will happen when you're filming. And people, it's very natural. They didn't care. They could see a camera here. They didn't care. This is where they get out every time. And they're not going to not get out there just because I'm some city guy with a camera is standing in the way. Okay, let's break and we'll have a look. Enjoy this trailer, it's fantastic. And with great views of the Odra and our Odyssey on the Odra. That's what we should call this, Odyssey on the Odra. And I'll show you the old brewery here, 700 years. Enjoy the trailer. Okay. Hello everybody and welcome back. This is the old brewery. I think it's worth a look, don't you? It grew from this spot over 700 years. You see the sign? It says 700 years of beer brewing. And this is the old facility. Up here you see 1538 and a kind of a coat of arms of Namysłów above it, and you see the lion. So this would have been both a Polish and a German brewery over time. It may or may not have affected the quality of the product as it was prepared, but I can tell you that you have to remember, as I was saying before, beer was such a staple. Bread and beer, you know, they're in some ways coming from the same origin, and a similar process, I suppose you could say, to make them. Yeast being the operative factor. But you can think, you know, so many people talked about beer. Martin Luther, the famous, I should say, the memorable Lutheran, the one who founded Lutheran Church of his own name, with his own name, as it so came to be known, was a great fan of beer. He said that beer was something that God gave us to improve our lives. And you know, George Washington was a famous beer maker. I believe Thomas Jefferson made beer as well. It was quite a normal thing to make beer over the centuries. But here in Namysłów, in this here building, they were making the beer for a very long time. And that's all I got to say about that, as far as Gump would say. We'll see you tomorrow night on the next program. Greetings and all the best from Namysłów. I'm Will Richardson, your humble reporter. Thank you for watching. Like us on YouTube, Poland Daily Travel, search, and like us on Facebook. Thanks very much.